2020 has been a year like no other, and as we approach Christmas, we know that it is unlikely to be like what we usually experience. But in the midst of it all, we are looking for what God is doing and what God has to say. So let us go back to the first ever Christmas where they too were having a year like no other, but they were still looking for God to move, yearning for hope, searching for peace, desperate for truth, and crying out for justice.
I don't know what your year has been like, but I can't even begin to tell you the year I have had. I thought I had my year planned out, and then my world was turned upside down. One minute I was planning my wedding and dreaming how my life was going to be with my fiancé Joseph. The next thing, I have this amazing encounter with an angel that tells me I'm going to give birth to the Messiah. All the plans for my year were interrupted. All the plans for my life were up in the air. I had no idea how Joseph would react, or how my family would react, or how I'd be treated by those around me. There was so much uncertainty of what this would mean for me. But I know that there is nothing impossible with God. I was not alone. God would not leave me. And whatever I would face, I knew I could walk through it with God. There was a peace in me that although there were times when I felt alone, I was not on my own. God is with me. And now I am here in Bethlehem, holding the Saviour of the world. I'm not sure where we will go from here, but I know God has a plan.
I don't know what kind of person you are, but I've always been someone who likes to plan things out. I had a life planned out for myself. I would marry Mary, we would live in Nazareth, I'd work hard as a carpenter, and at some point, we'd raise a family with supportive families around us. Well, my year has not gone as planned. First, I was shocked by Mary's news. I thought I had to call it off. But then, after a dream from God, I knew I'd been chosen for this special task. All my plans have gone to pot, and we are far from home, trying to raise a special child. We've left all we know, and we don't know if we'll be able to return. How will I provide for my family? Will we be safe? How will I protect my family and the child that God's entrusted to us? I don't know what the future holds, but I'm assured that I know the one who holds the future.
You might not know what it feels like to be a reject through your life, but I can tell you, I never get invited to anything. It's a hard graft working day and night on the hillside, and it's a lonely existence. You learn not to expect much. Long, boring days, and even longer nights. Somehow, this year has been harder than all the others. It seems like I work hard and never get rewarded. I was in despair. I had lost all hope for a better future. I felt so isolated, so lonely, and I thought things would never get better. That's why I was completely blown away when these angels appeared to me and all the other shepherds. And not only that, we got invited to see the Son of God. There was nothing I could do but bow down and worship him. It was the most amazing thing that had happened to me in all my life. I was included. God had heard my prayers and he was going to do something amazing. For the first time in my life, I had hope. This child, this Jesus, he is the hope of the world.
You know I'm an educated man. I've been searching for truth for all my life. I traveled from afar, cautious of the land I was entering. I don't know what your country is like, but there have been many divisions in this land, and I knew, as a foreigner, I would not be welcome. But somehow, I hoped for something. I hoped that in some way I would find a welcome. We were treated with suspicion when we entered the palace, the sense of tension and dis-ease in the atmosphere. But then, the star came to rest, and we found that this promised king had come. not in the way we had expected, but in the way that cut through all the barriers of race, division, and class. Here he was, the Prince of Peace and the King of all kings, in the shape of a child, born into humble beginnings. What kind of king would he be? One who had come to serve, one who had come to show us how to love, one who had come to break down the barriers. In him we would find the answers to all our questions and the justice the world so desperately needs.
Amidst the uncertainty of the future, in the poverty of an unequal society, in the middle of an injustice of the people under oppression, amidst the divisions of a society, in the hopelessness of a nation in despair and the loneliness of isolation, Jesus was born, hope restored, Prince of Peace, Emmanuel, a world no longer alone, hope of all the nations.